Hey guys, welcome back to yet another all digital pickups video. This is only, I guess, the second edition or the second time I'm doing a digital only pickups video, so hopefully it goes okay. And in this one, I want to highlight my purchases that I did during the Steam summer sale of 2021. The sale is still in full effect, as you guys can see here on the screen. It's going to end on July 8th, so maybe my pickup video will give you guys a little bit of an idea of what's out there. Although I do have to warn, I guess, or have a disclaimer that a lot of the games that I picked up are very cheap and kind of like on the indie, unknown type of side. But that's what I really enjoy about Steam. It's finding like quirky indie games, and then I typically reserve like the triple A full blown high budget games for my consoles, PS5, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and whatnot. But without further ado, let's just get started. I'm gonna get started with a Phantom Breaker, which is a beat 'em up. As you guys can see here, has a very unique art style. Kind of like it kind of looks like a chibi type of art direction, but it's a in the beat 'em up that kind of resembles kind of like a Neo Geo Pocket almost. I guess graphics and art direction, and you can make a lot of combos and hits and use power ups, as you guys can see here on the preview. So a pretty interesting game. As we scroll down, you can see that it's only $3 right now. So I figured why not? It has a pretty good amount of positive reviews, as you can see here. So yeah, Phantom Breaker, Battlegrounds. It was an easy pickup. It was on my wish list, so I decided to pick it up. The next one is a homage to old timers like myself. This game is Progress Bar 95, which is a kind of like a rendition to old school Windows 95 and Windows 98. There are unlockables, and the game itself, it's a collection of like mini games where you have to fill up the progress bar, as you guys can see here. I don't know if I'm doing this right. I just zoomed in, but yeah, if you guys are age 30 or older, you'll probably get a kick out of this game. It has a lot of cool little renditions to the good old times, when Windows 95, 98, and you can unlock like new operating systems. You have like mini games like this one that is like a rendition to Wolfenstein 3D. So a lot of Minesweeper, as you guys can see here, and a lot of interesting tidbits there for people that have been using Windows for a very long time. So this game is only $3.74. So highly recommend it. I decided to pick it up for a laugh, and it's been a fun game so far. I actually have been playing it. The next one, it's one that was very, very cheap, and that game is Kokoro Clover Part 1. I don't know much about this game. As you guys can see, it only has a couple reviews posted, and the game came out, last year. So a very small developer indie game that was, just recommended to me. But as you guys can see, it has like a Sunday morning anime cartoon vibe, kind of like an old school graphic and art direction. And the game looks pretty good. It's like a platformer adventure game. I haven't played it yet. I've read that it's really, really short. But I figured, it's only $2 right now on sale. So the art style looks very interesting, very charming, and very colorful. So, I decided to pull the trigger and give it a shot. Next up, we have a classic or PC classic, which is System Shock. This is the enhanced edition, which has some, corrections, like higher textures and improvements and whatnot. It's not like a full-blown remake, but it does have some nice improvements in terms of the textures and whatnot. And as you guys know, I'm a huge BioShock fan, but I never really delved into the roots of the influence of BioShock, which is, System Shock. That was kind of like the original influence behind the BioShock games. So I need to get around both System Shock 1 and 2, before the remake comes out. It'll be interesting to do that. But other than that, happy to pick this up for what, $2.50. Yeah, that's a pretty cheap and easy pickup. The next one is a game called Slipstream. Also, I think this game is on early access, or it just came out of early access, I believe. Again, pretty cheap, only $5. I had it on my wish list for the longest time, but I believe it was in early access, and it was lacking content for me to warrant and pull the trigger. But as you guys can see, it's kind of like a homage to games like Top Gear and other, I guess retro arcade racers of the time. There's a lot of unlockable cars and different color schemes and whatnot, as you guys can see here. But yeah, it should be a fun one. $5, not too bad, and the game keeps having like new content being released, so it should be a fun one to explore and to play. The next one is Tower Hunter Erezas Trail. I think that's how you pronounce it. Another game that caught my attention on the visual style alone. As you guys can see, it's a beautiful animated, kind of like a Metroidvania roguelite game. Supposed to be very hard. As you guys can see, has a very interesting art direction and character models and whatnot. It's a really good game. Has a lot of positive reviews for being like an indie Metroidvania type of game. Very interesting art direction. I love the character models here. As you can see, it looks like you can have a different amount of power ups and unlockables and whatnot. So for $6.29, it finally came down to a good price point. I had this game on my wish list for quite a while, and I'm happy to finally pull the trigger during this sale. Next one is a probably my most played mobile game of all time, which is Flight Control HD. Not a whole lot to say here other than you have to land the planes and helicopters, and it can get pretty chaotic, as you can see here on the screenshots. Had to get this, you can get this on your phone. It's probably better on your phone, to be honest, but just wanted to buy this for, good time's sakes. It was on sale for 99 cents. Can't go wrong with Flight Control HD. It's one of those very addicting, easy to pick up and play games that, pushes you to get the better score every time you play. Next up is The Witch and the 66 Mushrooms. This is kind of like a very low-key indie game, a Metroidvania game also that has this kind of cute art style and art direction and theme. You control this witch, and the game was created using the Pixel Maker, one of the Pixel Maker engines. As you guys can see, it's very fast-paced, very nicely animated with beautiful, sprites, as you guys can see, and it has a lot of different attacks and combos. I actually started playing this game like 2 days ago, and I'm really enjoying it. It's very basic, but it does have a lot of a lot of charm to it, and I'm really glad I picked it up. The game is on sale. Let's see, for under $5. It even still with the discount, I think it's a little bit on the hefty side because the game is supposed to be super short. But I decided to give some love and support to this particular developer, and so far I'm enjoying the game. It's a pretty fun little Metroidvania type of title. Next up is a visual novel that was on my wish list for a very long time as well, and that game is Tokyo Dark. This game was oddly enough published by Square Enix. I've heard a lot of positive things about this visual novel. Has a very unique art style, as you can see here, like anime oriented. I don't know much about it other than it was recommended to me by a friend, and again, it was on sale for, there you go, for under $5. 75% discount. So I decided to pull the trigger and have it on my library and see when I get to play this game. It's supposed to be a pretty solid visual novel, not the best out there, but for $5, I don't think you can go wrong with this particular game. Next up is a classic, Final Fantasy VII. I'm playing the remake right now, guys. I'm very close to completing the Final Fantasy VII remake. I'm on like the last chapter, I think. And I have that itch that I want to keep. I want to know what happens in the story, right? The remake only covers a certain part of the mainline game, and as you guys know, I never beat the any mainline Final Fantasy games to date. So Final Fantasy VII, the OG, could be a good one to start with. Although right now I'm playing the remake and I'm looking at the graphics here. There's obviously a worlds of difference. in terms of graphics, but I think the quality and the storyline, they're there. It's a classic game, one of the most celebrated and highly rated RPGs of all time. So figured out, I figured, I might as well get it. It was on sale for very cheap. Again, $5. Can't go wrong for with a classic RPG like Final Fantasy VII for $5. So that's that. Next up is another indie title that caught my attention. I had it on my wish list for the longest time. It's like an XCOM strategy game, a tactical game, turn-based, and it's called Troubleshooter: Abandoned Children. This game, as you guys can see, has a lot of very positive reviews, and the game is supposed to be. It came out with a little bit of unbalanced. Like there were a lot of people criticizing the game for not being very balanced, but the cool thing about this game is that I've heard on the discussion boards or whatever that the developer is pretty active and they're constantly adding new things to the game, balancing the game out. And if you guys are a fan of the XCOM games, this is supposed to be a very, very fun title. So that caught my attention. As you guys know, I love some strategy and tactical turn-based games out there. This one has a beautiful art style, kind of like a, I guess, anime-inspired art style, as you guys can see here. Supposedly there's a ton of customization in terms of the attacks and things that you can learn, master skills and all that. Very, very in-depth game that people are saying you can invest easily 100 hours in this game trying to master all the different characters and whatnot. And for $16, 33% discount, I figured, I'm going to pull the trigger and give it a shot. I just love the art style and the concept of the game, so hopefully it's a good one. And the last game that I have here to show you guys is Loop Hero, published by Devolver Digital, which is one of my favorite publishers out there because they support a lot of indie games. And this one is a very weird game, very weird concept. It's kind of like it's almost like an idle game, but it's not an idle game. It's almost like a roguelike type of card-based game. It's very hard to explain. I haven't played it yet. And a lot of the videos and reviews that I watched have like trouble explaining exactly what the game is, but it's supposed to be extremely kind of like hard, kind of like a Dark Souls, brutally like brutal game in terms of difficulty, but very addicting. It has like this loop mechanic that it's almost like an idle game where you can auto attack and things like that, and then you can craft and get some materials and to upgrade your weapons and whatnot. Again, I haven't played the game, but the concept sounds very fun, and as you guys can see here, it has a ton of positive reviews for being a new game. It got released in early 2021 and it already has like 18,000 very positive reviews. So for $10, I figured I'm gonna pull the trigger. Very interesting art style, kind of like a very dark theme to it, like dark fantasy. And the use of colors also, it's very interesting. As you guys can see, it's not a colorful game. It uses like kind of like dark tones and grays, and I just love the game, love the sprite work in this game, and hopefully the gameplay backs it up, and hopefully I have a lot of fun playing this. So yeah, that's it for now, guys. Those were my pickups during the Steam summer sale 2021. There's a lot of great games, a lot of great deals, a lot of great prices out there. For all you, I may end up picking up a couple more games, but as of now, these are the games that I picked up. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all later. Take it easy.